Court Uncut, what the people want.
The court will call the matters of Ms. Amber Bottom, case numbers 24S00335, 15T11900, 15T13180, 24W00636, and 24S00. Oh, I already called that one. One is here for a bond violation, and I believe the warrant for her is still outstanding.
Tiffany Woods for the people.
Matthew Mansour on behalf of Miss Bonham. Amber, can you unmute and state your name for the court, please?
Amber Louise Bonham.
Thank you. So a bench warrant was issued for Ms. Bonham back on February 27th. At that time, it was issued because she tested positive for alcohol in this operating while intoxicated case with a blood alcohol content of 0.023%. And that was from a February 23rd testing. She retested on 2/24 and it went down to 0.019. Then she missed the next scheduled test, and then she missed the next scheduled test. She then tested on February 28th at 12:05 a.m. and she was positive at a 0.074%. Since that time, she missed the next rescheduled test at 12:20. Then she tested again at 12:38 a.m. and she was at a 0.057. She missed the next rescheduled test at 12:53, but then she tested at 1:09, 1:25, 1:51, 2:07, 2:24, 2:41, 2:59, 3:17. The lowest number she ever got to on that date was 0.015. So she never tested for all zeros. Then on March 1st, she missed the test between 6 a.m. and 9 a.m., tested at 10:34. An hour and a half later, where she tested negative. But then on March 7th, she tested at 11:50 p.m. as scheduled. She was positive again, 0.047. She retested on March 8th at 12:08, at which time she was positive, 0.036, 12:26, positive, 0.035, 12:45, positive, 0.028%. Then she missed the 1 a.m. test, the 1:30 test, and the 2 a.m. test. And then she didn't test again until 2 days later. Well, when she tested again 2 days later, on March 10th, she tested at 11:57 p.m. She was positive again, 0.033%. She retested at 12:17 a.m., went down to 0.023, retested again at 0.018, and then she didn't have another positive until March 16th, where she tested, and she tested positive for between at 12:01 a.m. She tested positive again, 0.067 is what she tested at that time. And then she missed all of the next rescheduled testing. Clearly we have a problem.
Yes, Judge. And I know that I just received the assessment from Matt Statman. And I'm not happy about this assessment that Ms. Bonham did. I don't think she was truthful at all.
I don't think I have that assessment.
I just got it from defense counsel. I think it was this morning or yesterday afternoon. I read it this morning.
Okay. Okay. We wouldn't have gotten it. So what is it which part do you think she was dishonest about?
Judge, she basically told him that she didn't have any issues with alcohol or marijuana and that she could stop drinking or using marijuana. She had no difficulties abstaining whatsoever. And that is not true, Judge. She can't even abstain long enough to do these tests. All the missed tests, all the positive alcohol tests shows that Miss Bonham is right now suffering from some sort of substance disorder. And I'd like to get her screened for recovery court. I don't think she's interested in doing that, Judge. But I think she's not being truthful to herself. And she has children. And I think she needs help. And I wish she would come to that realization, Judge.
Unfortunately, it is a part of the disease. Ms. Bonham, you have a right to have a hearing on these violations, at which time, if it is found that you did in fact violate, your bond could be revoked. If you admit to it, your bond could be revoked. The magistrate told you on March 19th that she wanted you to turn yourself into the Washtenaw County Jail. I see that hasn't happened. And she said that you could be released into a treatment program. I see that hasn't happened. Mr. Mansour, what would your client like to do?
And I spoke with Ms. Bonham about this yesterday for an extensive amount of time. She would admit to all of the violations on the report, Your Honor.
I want you to be very clear. I'm not going to be withdrawing this bench warrant at this time.
Your Honor, that's understandable. That's how you feel.
Ms. Bonham, it's my understanding that you're going to waive your right to have a hearing on these violations and you're going to admit to them.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, Your Honor.
Please raise your right hand to be sworn. Do you swear or affirm that the testimony you're about to provide will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Yes, Your Honor.
Thank you. You may lower your hand. Ms. Bonham, I listed a number of violations. Do you dispute any of those, or do you acknowledge that you actually violated in all the ways that I just indicated?
I do accept responsibility and acknowledge that I have.
All right, thank you. I find that there's a knowing and willing admission to the violations. Are you satisfied? Ms. Woods?
Yes, Judge.
Defense is satisfied as well, Your Honor. Thank you.
Thank you. Ms. Bonham, I obviously don't have this report that you did, the assessment you did, but if you told Matt Statman that, I hope you understand that that's not true. Because if it were true, you wouldn't be sitting here looking at a bench warrant right now. I can't hear you.
I have told the truth, Your Honor. I have been having hardship with my job and compliance as a result of my failure. And it's just been very stressful, emotional. And I'm afraid more than anything. I have a child. I cannot afford to lose my job. All I have is me. And I just have been overwhelmed more than anything. I have not tested positive for marijuana. I haven't had any non-compliance since I saw the magistrate last. And I don't want to go to jail. The magistrate said for me to turn myself in and I will be released on a GPS to go to work. I'm in leadership. My schedule's not always the same. And I have a little boy that depends solely on me. I don't have any other recourse and I don't have much help. And that is the truth.
Ms. Bonham, I've been practicing law for like 30 years. And I've been a judge, as you know, for the past 4 going on 5 years.
Yes, Your Honor.
And your violations are some of the most egregious I've seen. So the fact that you don't fully understand how deep your situation is, how deep your alcoholism is extremely concerning. And you can't be the best person for your kids, your youngest, or any of your kids who all need you right now until you get this under control.
I do understand, Your Honor.
Mm-hmm. So, Mr. Mansour, do you agree that that report says that she told them that she didn't have a problem?
Well, Your Honor, I'd have to go back and look at the exact wordage, but it was, yeah, there was, the language was something similar to that around that. I can't quote it right now off the top of my head, but I do know the assessment recommended outpatient treatment program at Dawn Farms. There was a lot of positive stuff in the assessment, which I can forward to the court uh, as soon as possible if needed. I'm just hoping, and Miss Bonham is hoping that the court would, just give her this one final chance to make things right. It seems like that court date on the 19th in front of the magistrate was really just a like moment where she realized how serious this really is and how she could jeopardize almost everything she has good going for her right now. So that's really all I can say about that.
I think she needs to be reassessed by Matt Statman with the truth. So that's the first step. I'm certainly not willing to withdraw any bench warrants until that happens.
It's understandable, yeah.
And then secondly, if he changes it to inpatient, she needs to figure out how to get into inpatient. I believe that somebody was talking, it may have been I don't know, it was somebody during recovery court that was talking about the fact that there's a treatment program that allows people to take their children with them. And I believe that jobs have to give her some time off to do that.
Your Honor, please.
Ma'am, please stop talking. They have to give her time off to do that. I think it's a federal law that they have to do that. So she needs to have an honest assessment done. I'm not going to retract the bench warrant until that happens.
May I please?
You can. It may not be to your benefit. Ms.
Your
Bonham.
Honor, I did not falsify anything. The questions that he asked, I was honest about. I explained to him that I like to have a glass of wine or two after work before I take a bath. I did not, say anything that wasn't true. I have been overwhelmed, since being in jail.
Ms. Bonham, stop.
Yes.
Stop. Okay? Because folks overwhelmed don't go and drink when they have a clear order to not drink. And they know what they have to lose. You know who does that? People who have an alcohol problem. So stop talking.
Yes, Your Honor.
So I will do this. I'll give her another court date and she can have herself reassessed either by Matt Statman or go over to Dawn Farms. And I just don't see that she can be honest because she's in the midst of her disease. That is what my concern is. And I don't know what else to do for her at this point.
Thank you, Your Honor. That's understandable. I can get her set up with another assessment as soon as possible.
You should do that and try to have some, I don't know. Sometimes people don't come to realization until they've lost everything. And I don't know what else to do for her. So I'll put this on for April 17th. Can you think, hopefully he can just do a quick re-interview, or she can call and be honest about the fact that she is still drinking when she's been ordered not to. And for a long time, she wasn't testing at all. So I don't know how long this has been going on since the case started, because well, actually she She had positive ETGs as far back as November. And I don't know. And then she just stopped testing from December 6th to January 30th. So
I'll reach out to Matt Statman or Don Farms immediately after the docket ends today, see how fast we can get her reassessed. And then once the assessment comes in, I'll send it over to the appropriate parties.
what was the BAC in this particular case, Ms. Woods? Well-
Yes, Judge, let me look real quick. I got to get back into the case.
Okay.
I think it was, one moment. This takes a minute for my computer to come back up. So Judge, she had THC in her system, and she also had a blood alcohol of 0.149, and she also had the child in the car with her, under 16. Her 9-year-old child was in the car with her at the time.
Thank you. Ms. Bonham, I can't impress upon you enough that the sooner you come to realization of what is going on with you, the better your situation is going to turn out. I don't want this for you, and I certainly don't want it for your baby or your babies. And all I can do is get you re-referred and try to get you some treatment and hopefully get you out of denial. I will see you back here on April 17th at 9:00 a.m. The bench warrant will continue until then, until I can get her into some type of treatment. She needs to continue to test. And hopefully she doesn't get picked up. I won't send anyone to get her just yet. But I tell you, if she doesn't get this together, I will send folks to come get her.
Your Honor, can I please just ask for consideration
Ms.
to not
Bonham.
have me go to an inpatient center?
Ms.
Ma'am?
Bonham, please. We'll talk after court. We'll figure it out.
Understood.
Thank you.
Thanks, Your Honor.
You're welcome.
Make sure to like and subscribe so you don't miss crazy courtroom moments like this one.